Thank you, Lisa. So as I said, we generally do scroll the new listings for the first, the first few minutes, the first 10 minutes before we open the call. See some good representation here from all over Western New York. So we're excited about that. And we also have with us this morning our great leadership team as well, as you all know. And on the screen, you'll see it's Kathy Bianchi and Lou Alimo and Matthew Whitehead. And of course, Ken Winowski from First Priority Mortgage, myself, Charlene Zarati, and our guest this morning is Al Peachy, the president of New York State. So we're very excited to have Al join us and all of you. So welcome.
Morning, all.
Live from Western New York. And here's our newest Howard Hanna Realtors. The three that are on top are new. This is the first time that they're up on the screen. And the others we have been scrolling over the course of the last few weeks. So welcome to all of our new agents who've joined us in the last 30 days. Again, we're so excited to have you join Howard Hanna, and we're hoping that the Monday calls will give you a little bit of insight into who we are as a company and the service that we attempt to provide, that we do provide to our agents, which is one of the reasons why this call was initiated, for better communication. So thank you, and good luck to all of our newest Howard Hanna Realtors. We've been asked for market stats to include in the report. Now, I know you all have access to this through the MLS, but we're going to share with you some stats that we pulled up, and we may change these that we pull from week to week, but here's some for you to use in your daily business as well. Lou?
Good morning, everyone. So some of the numbers that we're going to show you today are going to show some of the closed sales for Buffalo and Rochester. As far as units are concerned, we are down, okay, in the inventory, which we all know we're very well aware the fact that, as looking out for buyers, there's not still a lot to choose from. So again, these numbers are based on where we see through September closed units being down 7% in Buffalo and 16%. But again, we are seeing more and more inventory come up every day. So we're looking at this through three quarters numbers, but also we have the fourth quarter, which, as the inventory comes up, it's going to be great for buyers agents to really be able to pull the trigger. There's definitely a seasonal change that's going on that we're seeing. So that's an important part of it. Our next slide talks a little bit about the listings that they are down, as we were just talking about, 13% in the Buffalo area, and in the Rochester area we're down 16%. So when we look at that, again, these are numbers that you can see and look at that can help you. But remember, we have the fourth quarter coming up, and again, we are starting to see more seasonal, as I said before. And our last slide talks a little bit about our final list price versus a, again, if you're looking at what the list price is and what the final list price, being down, 1% in Buffalo and less than 1% in Rochester, that's definitely something that you can feel good about. As I said before, I mean, we want to share some information with you based on where the market is at this time. But ultimately, that's why it's so important to now start from these numbers to look at your business planning for next year. And I think this is a great opportunity for you to start diving into numbers with your managers to start business planning for next year. So good market stats. And I just want to reach out to Lisa Avery for helping us put these stats together for this week.
Hey, Lou, would you mind if I jumped in and just gave you gave everyone a kind of thought for looking at these numbers?
Sure,
I
Matt.
think that one of the things that we're seeing, like you keep seeing stats, and you'll see September or August and you see down over down over down. If you look at Buffalo and Rochester, both historically, you end up every year with about the same amount of units for the entire year. So for the last 5 years in Buffalo, for example, we're anywhere between 11,000 transactions and 12,000 transactions. At any given time, the largest gap we ever saw was less than 1,000 units down between those numbers. So again, you look at the whole piece. So to Lou's point, Lou was saying there's seasonality. There is seasonality in our marketplaces. So for example, depending on our weather, we're going to see a decline. Depending on things that are happening in the world, we're going to see a decline. But all in all, you're going to see kind of ebbs and flows, and you see us getting to the same amount of pie pretty much at the end of the year. So to Lou's point, make sure that when you look at these things, you're getting a broader perspective, not just looking at the 1 month and saying, well, they're down, I'm down, that makes sense, it's okay. At the end of it, we're probably going to end similarly to the year before. So if you're looking at the pie, make sure that you're making sure you're increasing your percentage of the pie and doing the things you need to do in your business plan, as Lou said. I think that's important to look at.
Yeah, and as we look at the business planning, there are percentages, okay, in your typical business plan that will show you the different flow of where the business comes from, what type of year. So remember, you got to feel good about the numbers that you're working with on a monthly basis.
Yeah, if you look
Right.
at, when they're doing historically, we had COVID. We've had a couple anomalies that have occurred. So when they're trying to look at, oh, you're down from this, you're up from this, there have been some historic anomalies. But again, at the end of the day, we still have had some great years. We end around the same place. So I would kind of just focus on the business that's in front of you and kind of say, how can I expand that? Sit with your manager and kind of figure out what is the best way for me to maximize my return so that I can keep producing and get a bigger piece of the pie.
Great. Good info. Thanks, gentlemen. And I believe at this point, we're going to turn the program over to Al Peachy and I believe Matthew Whitehead. So welcome, Al, to the live from Western New York.
Well, thank you very much, Charlene. It's certainly my pleasure to be here today. I am just thrilled that, we can connect with a bunch of our team members first thing on Monday morning, get everyone together, give them some great information on the market, some market stats. The numbers you were showing there, it's kind of interesting because a lot of us hear that the market is kind of trending into a more balanced market. But you look at some of those list to sale prices, 105%. I think it was in Rochester, 102% in Buffalo. And so the market's still very strong, as we all know. And we've just got to be able to communicate that market strength to the buyers and sellers when we're out there meeting with them. And so I'm thrilled with where we are right now. I'm thrilled that we're closing the year. We've got a lot of good stuff coming on between our fall summit next week. I think we've got 550 people that are signed up for it. So it's going to be a great event, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at the event.
So Al, the goal here is to let some people understand who you are, give a little background on you so that people get to know you a little bit better. For a lot of our agents, this is their first introduction to you. So why don't you give us just a little bit of your professional background so that they understand kind of where you're coming from?
Sure. Thanks, Matt. So I've been here between Realty USA and Howard Hanna for the last 21 years. I started in 2001 as the regional manager in the Albany market, kind of managed this market, which I still do today. For all 21 years, kind of did some work down in the Southern Tier as Merle Whitehead and I and our team did some acquisitions down that way. So I managed that group for quite a number of years, and then was fortunate enough about 4 or 5 years ago when Howard Hanna came on to have the opportunity to be the president of the Eastern New York region, which includes the Albany market, Syracuse, and the Southern Tier. And then over the last 5 or 6 weeks, the even bigger opportunity to have the Buffalo and Rochester regions and this great team of people that are on the call here today to work with. So my background's been, quite a long time here, 21 years. Before that, I spent 17 years in banking. I was a senior VP and a senior lending officer of a bank. So I managed the residential, commercial, consumer lending functions of a local bank. I have an MBA. I'm a CRB, so I believe highly in education. And I think, we always can find ways to grow. We always can find ways to become more knowledgeable. And that's why this is a great venue today to share some ideas with everyone so that everyone can learn to do things and hopefully can help them with their business.
Thanks. You know, you mentioned we got the summit coming up, and I want to give people some information so that if they see you, they can come and talk to you and not just ask you the basic question, how's the market, how's it going,
Yep.
how's the job? You know, so I want to give them some kind of human components of El Peachy. So I'm going to do a little rapid fire with you really quick,
Okay.
just so that people can ask you some normal questions when they see you. So
Sounds good.
Favorite sports team?
Buffalo Bills.
Is the right answer. I know it's not. He's a Jets fan. But Buffalo Bills is the correct answer. Favorite sports to watch?
I like golf, to be honest with you. My wife says like watching grass grow, but I love golf.
All right, favorite food?
I like pizza. You can have
Favorite hobby?
any kind of pizza. You know, a lot of different kinds of pizza, so it's all good.
Favorite hobby?
I like just spending time in Lake George. I live in Lake George, just kind of hiking, skiing. You know, I'm an outdoor person, so I love being outside.
Favorite movie?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with an oldie but a goodie. I think is the original Jaws.
And favorite book?
You know, I read a lot of business books. I like stuff by Warren Buffett, by Steve Jobs. You know, people that I think are inspirational to us, that are good business leaders, that have run solid companies. And I think they can give us a lot of insight into how we can do better in our business too. So.
Okay, so as you're talking about inspirational people here, I'm going to ask you to be one of those people. Paint us a picture of what you aspire to see in Western New York, what you aspire to see in the New York State marketplace, and where would you like to see us go?
Well, I think we always have to be looking forward. So, a lot of us today, we're hearing about the interest rates being high. We're hearing about inflation. We're hearing about, stuff that's overseas. And I think I said this the other day, look at things that you can control and try not to focus on things that are out of our control. So things that are out of control, we can't do anything to kind of, change the interest rate environment. We can't do anything to change inflation, but we can do things to help our business grow. So I think when we look internally to ourselves, let's focus on those things that we can control, that we can do. Prospecting being one of them, open houses, learning some of our tools, things that can help you as you move into the last quarter of the year, be a better real estate salesperson. Or if you're looking into your business in 2023 already, how can you develop your business to be more robust, to grow, to be wherever you want to be? Some people are scaling down the business. That's okay. Some people are growing the business. We need to kind of as a team work all together to help those people achieve their goals at the end of the day. And I think if we can do that, we can work with the people on the call here today, then we're kind of having a lot of success for people that are at different points in their career.
As you talk about success, you saw our new agents scrolling in the beginning. What's your best advice for somebody brand new coming on board, kind of saying, what do I do? Where should I start? What are the best things that I should do?
Yeah, so one of the things I see is new agents, they're focused on wanting to be able to know everything that they need to about a transaction. They're looking at the contract, the listing agreement, and that's all good stuff. They need to get out in front of buyers and sellers. They need to be in the market, making connections with people that can help their business grow. So whether that's working with their manager on a listing appointment, I'm all for taking your manager or a mentor in the office out on an appointment with you so that, if there's questions that come up, there's someone there that can guide you in that right direction. Do open houses, work with a top agent, and do some open houses to pick up some buyers and sellers. I think that's a great way for newer people to start kind of getting their network of people together. And then as you're doing those open houses, use our 5-5-10 program or 10-10-20, whatever you want to call it, and market to those people around there. Start to build your base of people that you can work with. And the more you do that, the more opportunities you're going to have to connect with buyers and sellers.
So Lou and I were just kind of sharing some stats and sharing that, we have a seasonality market, but we've also had a lot of anomalies. So for some seasoned agents that kind of say, I've gotten a little lost, what should I do to get back on track? What do you think would be your best advice for some seasoned agents right now?
So again, I am all for carving out a portion of your day and prospecting. So I think when we look, and it sounds so simple, really, just to say, I'm going to take a half an hour every day to just focus on prospecting. But I think if people do that day in and day out and do the basics and connect with their buyers and sellers, they do some drop-bys, they do some handwritten notes, they reach out to people that they haven't connected in a while, they're going to pick up some business. And even if you start doing open houses again, I know they're starting to come back into the market a little bit more. As a seasoned agent, connect with the people around the open house, make some of those connections, and find ways just to kind of rekindle your business a little bit. But I think all day long, if we spend some time actively prospecting every single day, whether you're an experienced agent, whether you're a new agent, business is going to come to you.
So proactively getting out there and
Absolutely.
finding some. Great.
Yeah. I think one of the things we have to do right now is not wait for the business to come to us, because there's a lot of real estate agents in the marketplace still. So we've got to be an active agent going out and trying to find business and bringing it to you, not waiting for that phone call to ring and saying, oh, it's my next door neighbor. I mean, I can tell you, I've done it. I'm sure everyone on this call's done it. You drive down your street one day and all of a sudden you see one of the competitors for sale signs on one of your neighbor's houses. Like, I'm just disappointed in that. But what have you done really to kind of make sure that that neighbor, when they think of real estate, is thinking of Matt Whitehead or Al Peachy, or the real estate agent that's supposed to be in that neighborhood and most knowledgeable?
Yeah, so nationally, statistically, everybody knows about 11 real estate agents. So that keeps getting bigger and bigger. So,
yeah.
You make a great point that you can't just hope that they're going to be, Al's the guy for me. You got to make sure you're getting in touch with them and being in front of them consistently.
Absolutely.
All right. Last minute, what do you believe is our strongest value proposition in Western New York?
So I believe we have a great team of people around us. So if you look at all the tools that we have, you look at the human resources that we have, I think as real estate professionals out in the marketplace, we've got to use those tools, that expertise, when we're going out and meeting with buyers and sellers. So, one of the things I like to say, Matt, is that if you haven't looked at a lot of our tools, look at one or two tools that can help you in your business in 2023, something that you can take. And it's not the same for everyone. Some people use Real Scout, some people use Buy Side, some people learn HANA presentations. Whatever it is, use a tool that can help your business be more efficient and grow as you move into the last quarter of this year and into 2023.
So I would say to all the people that are going to see Al at the summit, make sure you go up and say hello and ask him some more personal questions. But Al, any last minute thoughts or comments for the group here? You'd like to?
No, again, I think just finish the year strong. We've got a little less than 90 days left to in the fourth quarter. And the business we write over the next 2 or 3, 4 weeks could close this year, but a lot of that business is going to move into 2023. So think about how you can go out and build your listing inventory now to get that business either to close this year or to move into 2023. I mean, as you guys have all said, it's a great year that we've had so far this year. It's not 2021, but it's more comparable to 2019 and 2020. And those were both great years. So let's kind of focus on, how we can close the year strong, build some good base of listings. Listings are the key to our business. The more listings we have, the more buyers we're going to have, the more opportunities we're going to have to sell property. So thank you all for having me on today. I look forward to seeing everyone at the Fall Summit. I know I'll see some people later this week too. So it's always good getting on an early morning call on Monday and kicking the week off on a strong note.
I think we're going to kick it over to Mr. Wanowski next, right? Is that correct? I think so.
Thank you.
Take it away, Ken.
I'm sitting next door to Al. I'm in Albany today, so I know what I'm going to do. We're going to go get some pizza. We're going to hit a bucket of balls, and we're going to watch Jaws later today. So probably after 3 o'clock, I think there's a matinee we're going to grab. Just to echo Al's comments and looking forward and always, trying to be better than where we were. I keep thinking about, what's my best delivery on this call. And what I want to do moving forward is share really positive stories that our mortgage consultants and core services has helped put a deal together, whether it's close a loan, whether it's get a listing, whether it's helping you with a lender from the outside just to explain stuff. And then I want to explain the why of what's happening in the instruments of the marketplace of the Fed, and kind of decipher what CNN and Fox News is always talking about. So good story. I want to share first. This happened in a region that is on the call today. And it was a cash advantage program when we just brought out our cash advantage deal, and it was probably in May. And everybody was coming out with these programs, and they were all different. And this one will buy your house, this one will, send you on a trip. And everybody was trying to figure out what was the best way to deliver this product. And we had an individual that was putting in offers, and there were cash offers, it was true cash, it was cash, it was cash guarantees. And the listing agent had a question because we provided the cash guarantee documents to the listing agent. They had a question. They didn't understand how our product worked. So our mortgage consultant said to the buying agent, "Can I have your permission to speak to the listing agent?" Spoke to the listing agent, explained various parts of the program and how it worked. The listing agent said, and this was before an offer was accepted. The listing agent thanked our mortgage consultant and pretty much said, "I am going to accept this offer because of the way you explained it to me. It might not have been the highest dollar offer, but the way it was explained, the loan closed, all parties were happy. And it was just that extra communication that put the deal together." And that's where, hey, when we're down the hall or we're all together, let's do that. Let's just make that extra phone call. So one good story that I thought was fantastic that I wanted to share today. Next, just a couple things that happened in the marketplace last week. Don't forget, we don't say the word interest rates anymore. We say payments, and we don't say slow anymore. We say seasonal. So with that in mind, I may have to say interest rates only for example purposes. Friday, the unemployment rate came out better than expected. Unemployment dropped to 3.5%, and that's wonderful news. Wow, more people are working. The stock market sold off and the bond market sold off, driving interest rates higher and all your stock values lower. And y'all may say, "Well, Ken, that's kind of silly. More people are working. Isn't that better?" Not to the Fed. The Fed wants the economy to slow. Don't forget, we said inflation is too much money going after too few goods. More people are working, more people are making money. That will in effect keep continuing to raise inflation. So two inflation positives that are good for lower inflation. I read this in the Wall Street Journal last week. Lumber prices are at pre-pandemic levels. I had to read that twice because you still hear, "Oh, I can't build that deck. A board is this much money." Wall Street Journal last week, of course, it's in B section, 20, 25 pages in, lumber prices at pre-pandemic levels. Last week, OPEC met, and before that meeting of OPEC agreed to raise oil prices, gasoline prices declined for 88 straight days. Okay, so lower lumber prices, lower gas prices, all positive to reduce inflation. Dr. Lawrence Yun, I saw him, a quote he said last week, which I agree, that he is the chief economist for NAR. He said that interest rates, and I get to say that, I don't say payments right now, interest rates will follow the inflation rate. So if inflation is at 8.1 or whatever it's at, if it goes to 7.5, you can see rates drop. He also agreed that if inflation rate goes up, you're going to see mortgage rates go up. Different correlation, not really something scientific. It's not like a Laffer curve or one of these other things that we've all followed, but I honestly believe that that's something good. CPI comes out on Thursday, big number. If consumer prices are less than expected, that'll be positive for stocks and bonds and lowering our payments. So look out for that on Thursday. Next, I want to turn it over to, let's see what's happening in the Hannah happenings.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Happy Monday. Just wanted to let you know that we have a couple things coming up today, or this week rather. We do have, actually it's next week, we have the summit coming up next Monday. Very excited about that. If you have not registered, please go register, because this is going to be one event you're not going to want to miss. It's going to be exciting. There's going to be a guest speaker, Rebecca Mountain, and it will help you recharge for that for the fourth quarter and get you kick-started for 2023. So there's that. Also, we have the Champions Club event this Thursday, the 13th, 5 through 7:30. That's going to be in the Rochester area, and Buffalo. There are buses if you want to take them. They're leaving 3:30 from West Seneca, And then 3:30 from Amherst Clarence. If you want to take a bus ride, Holly Capello, you got to email Holly Capello at howardhanna.com. Holly will get you a seat on the bus. There you go. And I think we have Ascend coming up too. Where's the next slide? We have Ascend coming up Friday in both Rochester and Buffalo. Isn't that right, Lou?
Yep, Ascend's coming. Dates are on the slide. 10/14, 10/21, 10/28. Again, it's a great class. It's a great opportunity to get that extra push in your business, keep you on track, have somebody hold you accountable. And I think that's a huge plus for what we offer in the program.
I believe it's in Rochester too, the same day, going to be at the Career Center.
In-person class.
Yes.
And what else we have for, okay, and we have the quote of the week, which Al Peachy.
Hey, so as I said earlier on, everyone, this is a quote I saw the other day from Wayne Dyer. You can't always control what goes on outside, but you can control what goes on inside. So, you know, if you think about all the factors in the marketplace today that we can't control, focus on those things that you can control. One of them these guys just talked about was the Ascend class. If you want to finish the year strong, if you want to, you know, start 2022 on a strong note, I would strongly encourage you to take Ascend, whether you're an experienced agent, whether you're a newer agent. It's a great program. You will pick up more business in that time period of that class than you can imagine. And it'll be a great way to start 2023. So thanks again, everyone, for having me on the call today. I appreciate everyone being here. And I look forward to seeing everyone over the next, hopefully, couple of weeks, either at the Fall Summit or Champions Club or wherever it may be.
Thank you, Al.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Everyone.
Thank you.